So you want to learn how to create this trippy duplication effect inside of After Effects? Well, stick around because I'm about to break it down step by step. I know it looks crazy, but it's actually not too hard to make. But before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know that I'm lurkingvisuals and I run the Stay Creative store, where we got all of the presets, assets, and all of that good stuff that you need to elevate your music video visuals. So with that being said, if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check the first link in the description. But let's get right into it. So I got this clip right here from this Central C and Lil Durk music video, and to create this effect I'll start off by duplicating my layer right here. And with this duplication, if you want to save this as preset later, make sure to add on a transform effect. But since I'm not going to save this as a preset, what I'm going to do is press Y on my keyboard so I can move this anchor point down here, and then I'll size this up to like 130, something like this. And why I moved my anchor point down here is because my subject is basically down here. So if you have your subject in your scene to the right, move your anchor point to the right so you can zoom in on your subject. But this is basically how I'll do it. And now I'll drag down the opacity of my clip to something like this. So you can see right now we have two versions of our subject and of our clip in general. So we can keep our opacity like something like this. So now we have two versions of our subject at the same time. But that's not the full effect. I'll add on some more effects like a sapphire hotspot. And right now it's really dark, so I'll drag down the threshold to something like 0.1, something like this. You don't necessarily need to copy my settings, just tweak the settings depending on your scene. And next I'll add on an optics compensation effect, and I'll press this reverse lens distortion and move my point right here to somewhere around the middle of my subject. And I'll drag up my field of view to something like this. And you don't want to make this effect like way too obvious, so try to keep it really subtle. So around 100 is good. And the next effect I'll add on is a chromatic aberration from Universe. And let's drag down the master distortion to something subtle like 0.1, because we're not really interested in this part. And let's do the same for the radial blur. Let's drag it down as well. But the part that we want to mess with the most is the lens texture. So let's go down here, and here we got a couple lens textures that we can mess with. We got the bokeh one, we got the frozen one. And as you can see, they're really like subtle because our opacity is really low. So if we turn up our opacity, you can see it's more visible right now. But we don't want to do that to our clip. So let's go back to the normal opacity and let's just drag up the texture amount instead to something like this. And you could go for any of these lens textures. I think I'll go for the bokeh one. That one's really common. And for the texture amount, I'll go for something like 85, just like this. So I'll play it through and see what we got. It's a cool effect. I'll tweak the settings a little bit more, something like this. If you want to make certain details less visible, you can add on a curve as well. And I'll add it onto my subject layer, and we can mess with the, let's just make a point right here and a point up here. Now we can create something like this. Except for the fact that our lens texture basically disappears. So let's just put it on top of the curve. So now I'm happier with what we have. Now one final thing that I'll do is cut my clip right here, so the effect comes in right here. And I'll add in a shake right here just to spice it up a little bit more. So let's create a new adjustment layer, and I'll open up animation presets, and under user presets I got my ultimate shake pack. I'll make sure to leave this down in the description so you guys can go and check it out for yourself. But in here I have over 20 shakes. I got some trippy ones, I got some basic ones, but I think I'll go for like something like a splash shake, just so we can spice it up a lot. I usually go for something subtle. So this is what the effect looks like after adding on the shake, and I'm a huge fan of this. But this is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And like I said in the intro, I'll leave the link to all of my presets and assets in the description, so make sure to check that out as well. But I'll see you guys in the next one.